Having a bit of a revamp here in the office, so ignore the bit of mess you may see in the background, because the World Cup of Darts is about to start, an event that when it first started I didn't like it, I'm going to be honest, but I like variety. We've got the pairs format all the way through now, giving us something different and a different feel altogether. I like the double start, double finish. I like the Grand Slam for the group phases. I like things that have a different vibe about them. Prize money, though, for this event does not go on the order of merit. And this prize money is to be split between the pairs. So £100,000 for the winning pair, so you get £50,000 each for winning it. So you can see it's not the best paid tournament, but it's certainly one of the most exciting and one of the most dynamic. Now in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving you some predictions. I'm going to be giving you who I think is going to win, some partnerships maybe to look out for, and something I think could be a major upset in the early phases of this tournament. Big fancy could be going down. Here's your pairs. Now, the teams in green here, England, the Netherlands, Northern Ireland, Scotland, all come in at round 2, so they don't need to play the group phase, the round robin. Luke Littler, Luke Humphries, the favourites, will get to that shortly. Can they be beaten again? Then there are little group stages here, of which we see the seeded players down the left-hand side, and then the unseeded players that are drawn into groups. So first place we're going to look is over at the seeds. Now, number 9 seed here, Poland. If you are looking for a dark horse, look no further than Poland. These could be the ones. Krzysztof Ratajski refound his form once again at the World Championship, a good run there. Talked to us about the health issues of which he was facing at the time, and that they seem to be put behind him, and he seems to be in a very good place. Now, Krzysztof Ratajski's always been one of the players who's sort of up there in the top 32, top 16 of the rankings, but he's never really had the backup like he's got this year with Sebastian Bielecki. Sebastian Bielecki is winning development tours galore. He's knocking on the door of the World Match Play. He's having the season of his life. Looks like he's going to be in the Grand Slam, going to be in the Worlds, going to be in the Players' Championship finals. He's going to be in a lot of big events at the back end of the year. He's going up the rankings. He's going places. He's starting to fulfill the promise that we saw of him when he debuted in the UK Open back in the COVID year, where he hit a 9-dart finish. He was the man who stopped Luke Littler at the Modus Super Series from going on and winning another week there. Bielecki's got some class and some quality, and it's really coming through right now. Poland, for me, are the dark horses of this event. They could go deep. They could represent some value. But what about on this side, the unseeded side? Now, there's a lot of players in here with some real quality. Canada, Jim Long, playing so much better this year on the Pro Tour, playing alongside David Cameron. Problem is they're in the group of death. They've got the USA in there, Adam Savada and Stowe Bunce. Adam Savada we've seen at the World Championships doing good bits. Stowe Bunce reached the quarter-final of the Grand Slam of Darts. So some real dangerous players in that group. Now, Cristo Reyes and Jose Justicia, that's an interesting group. Johnny Tartar and Ben Robb, two players that haven't quite fulfilled the promise of which we've seen sort of elsewhere. When they play at home in New Zealand, world-class operators. When they come into Europe, not quite proven as of yet, and certainly haven't produced their best. There's more to come from New Zealand. They can be a dangerous pair. But for me, look at the Philippines here. Alexis Toilo and Paulo Nebreda. Two players we've seen quite a bit from in the past. Two players we've seen tried, tested and proven. They've put some good stuff together. Another dangerous partnership. So there's some dangerous partnerships in there. We've seen these sort of Spanish partnerships before, where you've got a player like Cristo Reyes, who's playing possibly the darts of his life, averaging in the mid-90s regularly, always on the European tour. 46 grand already this year, qualified for the big events at the back end of the year. A good run away from putting himself in contention for things like the World Grand Prix, the World Match Play. So, but he's in there with Jose Justicia, who hasn't quite delivered as of late. So we see a lot of these sort of partnerships. It used to happen with Portugal. But what we're looking for there is your Philippines. Nebreda and Toilo, two people that will probably be about a mid-80s average. They make a good partnership. And that could be dangerous for one of the real big seeds. Look at Group A. Germany. Think about those people I've pointed out. Ben Robb and Johnny Tartar. Nebreda and Toilo. Two good partnerships, mid-80 averages, in Group A. Germany have got their hands full in that group. That is a very, very tough group. And It would not surprise me if Germany do not go through. Germany are 2-7 favourites to win that group. Now, I'm not only just talking about this for the quality of the Philippines and New Zealand as being dangerous customers. In a short format game of pairs, let's not forget that. Short format game of pairs, different format altogether. I don't think this suits Germany. Now, we've seen this year Ricardo Petretsko been struggling with dartitis. With that, he's been looking at his throw, trying to find some rhythm. In pairs, you don't have rhythm. In pairs, it's long. You're not away from the hockey for one throw. You're away from the hockey for three. That's a lot of time. Most of your time on that stage is stood watching other people throw darts rather than throwing darts. And I think that break of rhythm could affect Ricardo Petretsko to the point where we don't see the best from him. If that is the case, Martin Schindler will become very well aware of that very early, and he'll know he's got to do the heavy lifting, which will apply a lot of pressure to him. This isn't the same Germany that beat England last year. On name it is, on form it's not. Martin Schindler not in the same place he was this time last year. I think Germany at 2-7 here could be a lay. Could be a lay, because they are in a very, very tricky group, and there is a lot of question marks over this partnership right now. I would rather have the field in that group than 2-7 on Germany, 100%. Which gives us our dark horse of Poland, our big potential upset of Germany losing in the group phase. Who's going to win it? Who's going to win the World Cup? Could Daryl Gurney and Josh Rock defend the title? I don't think they do. So we look at the other seeds in there. Scotland. This year, new face in there, Cameron Menzies coming in to replace Peter Wright. New partnership with Gary Anderson. I agree with a lot of the comments out there that suggest this could be a partnership that works. And I think Gary Anderson could be a very good sort of mentor figure here for Cameron Menzies, where we see the best come out of Cameron Menzies. We saw Cameron Menzies in Kiel recently on the European Tour produce some amazing darts. And looking well, looking a bit trimmer, looking well within himself, looking very healthy. I think Cameron Menzies is going to make a good move at the back end of this year. That would not surprise me at all. If he carries on the road he is, that would be one to keep an eye on. We look at the Netherlands. Michael van Gerwen and Jan van Veen. Van Veen not quite been at it the same since the kidney stone issues. But change of equipment recently, played well over in Denmark, didn't he? As did Michael van Gerwen, who picked up that title. But although I can see the argument for it, I'm still got reservations against that partnership going on and winning this. Which brings me to the favourites. Brings me to Luke Littler and Luke Humphries. Now, I know what people will say, because every time I spoke about the World Cup of Darts so far, everyone said the same thing. Remember last year? Because they went out first. They went out to Germany, went out to Petretsko and Martin Schindler. Huge upset. England are out. Surely that doesn't happen twice. We had the best two players in the world, the best two players of this generation, playing with each other. Now, yes, they was beaten. Nothing's a certainty in a live sport. However, if I sit here now and throw a dart over my head into that very dartboard, and I sit here recording it all day, eventually that dart's going to land in the treble 20, because it has to land somewhere. The odds of it are really small, but it has to happen at some point. So if I film it long enough, I will get that footage. That's what I feel like this is. It's not impossible, it's improbable. I can't see the same thing happening here that happened last year. I think Littler and Humphries will come into this, and they're both in amazing form. I can't see past it. And I would love somebody out there to get in the comment section and give me a reason why they can't win the World Cup, or why they won't win the World Cup. That's not, they didn't win it last year. Anything other than that, I would love to hear a case being made for, because at the moment I'm looking through it and I just can't see how we can come up with any other reason. So for me, we said it before, I know, but I think England cruise to victory here, and I think England pick up the World Cup of Darts. Let me know what you think, guys. I want your views on exactly what we've looked at today. I want your winner, your dark horse, and your big surprise early upset, early shocker. England, Poland, Germany. Catch you soon.